Now today I have some plans, but I am realizing that it, it's it's summer, right? It's late in summer actually, and it's getting really hot outside, but I'm still wearing these long sleeves. Give me 1 second. All right, something a little bit more seasonal. Much better. But as you can see, editor's kind of playing games with us. You see, my editor has been on a bit of a hiatus, and is back, and is the one who set up my skin for that. So thanks. Um, thanks, pal. The goal of this episode is my life's kind of been on pause. Very similar to, I guess, the recording. And so I thought, as I'm kind of getting back in control of things, I thought I'd kind of talk things over, do something kind of like the last episode, which did inspire me because the Nether Hub's been on my agenda for a while, and just kind of knock out the to-do list. Now, I thought I was recording for about 20 minutes. I'm in a Badlands. Yeah, sorry about that. I want to redo the beach back home, and so I'm getting this dry grat. Oh, listen, man. I'm struggling talking tonight. In the take that didn't exist, I said spawn pooping. But welcome and welcome back. I'm gonna get back to you after I collect all this dry grass. Now, a little bit of a story time for you. I have this little tableside fan that I usually keep running in my room. I turned it off for recordings. And as I was turning it off, I've had this fan probably about 6 years, I would guess. I was turning it off, and it turned upwards. And it's only today that I've realized that this fan can be angled upwards. And I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, I'm moving to college in less than a month, but I think it's still coming with me. So at least it wasn't all for naught. Now a little bit more on it whenever I get back to the overworld. But the college send-off is part of kind of my topic of the day, What is that? I'm sorry? This is why I hate the Nether. This is... Uh-uh. 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 No. I didn't like that. Cave sounds are one thing. Nether cave sounds are a completely different one. I want to come back to my perfect world. And this is actually part of what's inspired everything today. Right. So we take a little look around, and, especially if we compare everything to how it was a few months ago, it's beautiful here. And that's only been because of some initiative that I've taken. But it could be better, I'm looking at, this feels super empty, down here we could definitely use something. I want a water feature in there, and we should probably figure out something through here, and right there, and right here's a bit barren, so it's right here. What if we had a path? It's enough, right? I've got this really big to-do list, and I thought, well, might as well, take everything off pause, take everything off hold, jump right in, And obviously it's not everything, there's some really big projects, mainly back there that I want to work on. But it's a start. One of the main ones, though, the reason we got this dry grass is if you take a look, see around here. Ooh. It's... Right, it's summer. Right, I'm ready for a day at the beach, except... oh. Ooh. Oh. Ah. I'm just gonna go take a, I'm gonna go take a trip to the sanctuary instead. But that's where you're wrong, because I'm not doing that. I'm fixing things today. It's going to be pretty back here. And I'm gonna be safe while I do it. I don't really want to keep building up to it anymore, though. Sorry that this episode has already been super all over the place and scuffed. Let's get to it, you know? I approached the beach, my resolve firm, and then I realized I don't actually know what I'm doing. I don't actually know how to make this look good. But I locked in. You know, I'm not actually really a fan of beaches. Like my family absolutely loves going to the beach. I don't really get it, you know? I get really bored at the beach and really uncomfortable. Anyways, I've been to the beach a lot because my family likes going to the beach, and so I kind of had some ideas in my head working on this. But I struggled, as you can see, and then I realized that every beach boardwalk I've ever seen goes straight onto the sand and brings you onto the sand without continuing to like wind around the sand. And I think that's where I was messing up, was figuring out the path, which I did later. This has been something I've been meaning to do for a really long time. It's been years, man. It's one of those things where I'm just kind of taking charge now, you know? I've put it aside for so long in favor of everything else going on. And now it's time to just do it. Put in the effort, do it, and make things better. Make this how I've always wanted it to be, and stop letting the intimidation of everything around it and how big it is and the appeal of working on other projects. Just focus on what I know I need to do and what I know I've wanted to do for a very long time. So we're a bit far away from the beach now, because you'll see in the time lapse that I did end up finally extending this path down over to where it needs to go. I haven't yet connected that bit, but that's what we're going to do next, I think. And we now can get finally all the way through here. And this feels like a beach now. Like, it's cleaned up. I still need to do a little bit of work over there, but this is beach. This is beach, dude. I don't know. I'm happy with it. And if we come over here, this also looks good. You know? Finally having a path down there, which I've imagined since I put up the little water wheel house. Next, I think the job is going to be trees. There are so many places in this world that I want trees. Like right here. You know? Right here. I think I want trees there. And like, you know, along here. Mostly though, right through here I want to put a path so that you can have some connection, since this doesn't, you know, reconnect until ever. And I want to put trees down through here, you know. I like these river birches along the water, and this is water, you know. And so I want to put, you know, some more things related to this along like the actual bank of the river. But right through here, I could put up some birch trees. And I love these birch trees. They are, you know, birches are some of my favorite trees. I have a lot of fond memories from when I was little with birch trees. They're a very, very firm part of my life, you know. I associate them a lot with kind of my childhood and time spent at the park. Another thing I want to do is put some trees through here. This has been one of the longest standing things I've needed to do. And so that's going to come up next too. As well as just some, you know, stuff thrown in. We're going to tidy up these paths. Now, to actually get to the main beef, the meat of this video, which is the idea that I've had my life on pause, because I haven't really touched that, I'm realizing. And it has to do with some rough personal events I went through a few months ago that I've talked about lightly in videos before, and really what it comes down to. I've kind of put a lot of my life on hold as a part of the recovery from that. You know, not to live in the past, but this April I went through a really rough breakup, and throughout that relationship even, I had kind of had my life just kind of on hold, you know. For a very long time, I was very happy and during that time, I kind of stopped doing a lot of the things that I did for myself, because I had somebody else in my life. This was my first relationship, and I'd yet to really learn a balance. And so I didn't focus too much on myself. And I lost a lot of things that were important to me. Shows that I was a huge fan of, I stopped keeping up with. One of the big ones I remember is I had been a weekly reader of the series Kagurabachi, which, I kind of completely stopped keeping up with that. I've just caught up. I had to read about 100 chapters from where I had last read, but I ended up just reading the whole series again, which I did jump on early. I jumped on at chapter 30. My point is that I'd kind of neglected a lot of these parts of myself that were important to me, and I kind of stopped being myself for a while, and I grew very content, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I grew content with just what other people had told me to prioritize, which was not the way that I should have been going about things. And so then, after my breakup, I was kind of lost for a while, and I was still having a really hard time getting back into things. YouTube is one of those things that I had on pause for a really long time. And so now, lately, I've been really just pursuing once more who I am. This all came at a very important time in my life developmentally. So there is an element of just trying to realize where that leaves me, I had an experience the other night where my parents asked me to come outside with them, and we just kind of sat under the stars for a while. And the way that I felt in that moment was peace in a way that I hadn't really truly felt in about 5 years. I leave for college on August 13th. That's my move-in day. And that was the time that it kind of really felt to me like things are coming to an end. Not necessarily like in a bad way, more so in a way of I'm moving on. In that moment, I kind of slowed down and looked at the world and just kind of thought about how far I've come, how far I'm going, and what's coming next. It was a lot of reflection and just kind of this grand looking forwards. And it was in that moment that I realized that I am back to living for myself and back to being myself. It was the moment that I realized the past isn't really controlling me anymore. Yeah, all these terrible things did go down, but I don't let them get to me anymore. It was this really big moment of, again, just acknowledgement that I'm moving forwards and that I'm putting things behind me. There's a difference between living in the moment and being ignorant of the future. The difference is that in one, you're enjoying your now, and in the other, you are choosing to ignore that there is a future. For the longest time, I fell into neither. When I was in 5th grade, I moved across the country, and from the day that I moved, I was just waiting to get out into college so that I could move out again, back to where I wanted to be. In November of 2024, I found a reason to enjoy where I was in life, and I lived in the moment. But very quickly, that devolved into not really minding how the future could go. I stopped considering how things were going to go for my personal side because I was in a relationship and that was my focus. But I've realized that your interpersonal relationships do not need to get in the way of yourself. Absolutely, you should be planning your life together with the person that you love. But know that that life is made up of 2 lives, and those 2 lives both deserve focus. Now, I'm not just living for the future anymore, but I'm also not just living in the moment. I'm taking the now and cherishing it while knowing that what the future holds is only going to get better. And I can say that confidently, because throughout my life, things have only gotten better. And as the sun sets on the work today, we're looking at a new path to new developments, and there's also a trader here. Anyways, so yeah, I finally put in the little path by Mossy Times that I've been wanting here since I put this up. And I mean, yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna wait for the sun to go down and then I'm gonna sleep and then go over this all. So, when we look over here, we're gonna see a few things immediately. We're gonna see this tree. It's meant to be crepe myrtle. I don't know. It'll probably end up changing. I don't get much contrast out of it. Versus this, which is an oak tree. And, you know, the elephant's down there, right? But, if you've ever watched Jujutsu Kaisen, forget about the true essence of the soul. I think I've reached the true essence of an oak tree. Because, wow, this shape just, oh, every angle, oh. I'm so happy with this one. It doesn't block, nothing blocks the view of the clock tower. It blocks like a little bit of the telescope, but hey, this is a good tree. And if we walk down here, we've got all of these dark fences with another oak tree. And this one doesn't look as great from this angle. This is like the weakest angle. The angles by the house are going to be the weakest angles. But even there, you're still looking at something pretty strong. It's mostly meant to be viewed from over here, where you get kind of like the hanging feeling. Or, because I've got some development plans from here. And I saw this view. I saw this angle. And I just thought, wow. I'm going to have to make a willow tree soon. Which sucks. It's going to be so rough. But this gives me hope. This gives me a lot of hope for that. I've gotten this tree too. This is another crepe myrtle. Some little water features around here. This one's got the cattails in it. I don't... Okay. People tend to use the copper chains for their cattails. I get why they do that, because they don't connect. But I prefer this. I think that this looks so much better with the green, because it's not bluish. I don't know. What do you think? I just prefer this. Not gonna lie. And of course, we've also got the fences along the path, which continues for the whole way. These little broken fences that just really tie everything together. There's a few spots that still feel kind of empty. Like through here, I kind of need something. I don't know what. If you got an idea, tell me. Right here as well, because I don't want to block these windows. Thinking about another tree in here, but I don't. Again, I don't know. There's just a few things that need to kind of be tidied up around here. But this leg of the journey is finished. And so I can bring you over to what I want to touch on next. We're going back over by the beach. So I do want to do some work over here. I don't know if that's going to be in this time lapse, probably. But if we come over here, we reach the edge of the beach. And I think what I want to do is have kind of like a rocky shore for a little bit. And then I want to lead into this main area, where right here you get a Spanish moss tree. That's my vision. Big Spanish moss tree right here. And then, you know, maybe you do like one more. I don't know. But I'd also like to do that rocky thing with the Spanish moss tree over here. And I'll show you why. I don't honestly pay much attention to beaches usually in life. And so I don't have too clear of a vision on how this should look. But thankfully, my inspiration is about 10 minutes away. You see, last night I actually went down to the beach with some friends. But our focus was more on just kind of hanging out than the actual location. So I decided that I would drive down and take a real nice look at things myself.
Separate from everything else, there's also a beautiful sunset tonight.
I got to work pretty quickly, just kind of looking around for anything that could be used as inspiration. It was really nice because this was the first time since everything had gone down that I had really been out there with my camera.
Look at those flowers.
and photography is a real passion of mine. Just another case of getting back to the things I love.
See, that one's a conifer. So it's all kind of trees, but I'm trying to go something like this one, I think. Look at that. That's one to save.
Now that I've got some inspiration and references, I think I'm ready to give this a shot. Now, contrary to what I might have said, I am not building a Spanish moss tree. I am building a tree with Spanish moss on it. What I'm actually building here is a southern live oak, or the scientific name, Quercus virginiana. Wow, learning that from Wikipedia. Now, from a little bit of light research, I'm finding that these are extremely resilient trees that are even able to grow in clay on occasion, and are able to withstand a lot of natural elements. They are native to most of the southern United States as well as some of South America. They have these very characteristic twisted branches, and though they are not a true evergreen, they do keep their leaves throughout most of the year. Spanish moss itself has a scientific name that I will not try to pronounce. It is commonly believed to be a parasite when it is actually an epiphyte. It grows on top of trees for support, but it does not sap nutrients from them. The most it does is it may weaken the tree structurally by its just bare weight, as well as shading the tree. It is known to be invasive in Sydney, Australia. However, where I live in the southern United States, it is native. It does favor the southern live oak as well as bald cypress trees, which I believe is the other tree I saw in that little montage, and it is extremely sensitive to airborne contaminants. Now here's a fun one. It is not a lichen, nor a moss, and it is not native to Spain. So whoever named this thing is just a massive liar. What I am learning from all of this is just how interesting it can be to research a native plant to where you live. And it's been really fun building something that I've seen in real life in Minecraft, even though, as you can see from this time lapse, this was an absolute pain, and in the end it doesn't look too much like a live oak in particular, but hey, that's still what it is. I kind of thought this would look better with shaders, but it kind of just makes everything look obscured. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that might be a thumbnail, man. Oh wait, I'm still zoomed in. So we look over at this tree that I just put up, and this is another one that gives me hope for whenever I do have to put in that willow. 'Cause wow, I am happy with this, man. I was really worried whenever I was putting in the pale hanging moss, but honestly, this feels so right, especially like when you're in it. This feels so right. It feels so nice. And from over here, you got some bald spots, but it's okay. Who among us doesn't have some bald spots? The bald spots in the tree are kind of annoying. So we're gonna see if that works. I mean, it helps. Every little bit helps. I'm a bit worried for how it's going to look after all of the moss grows, because I do believe that this is going to keep growing, and so I might just have to routinely check up on it. This is the main angle though, and from here it looks great. Although, down here's another main angle, and it looks absolutely incredible from over here. Like, dude, I did that. I keep just going, wow, I did that. You can also see it from over here where it looks amazing. Dude. Hang on, how does it seem in the background of like the, oh dude. Oh dude. I love that. I love that. I wasn't able to go completely for a live oak just because of my own building abilities. But I like it. I like it a lot. Today's comment of the day comes from Hugo B. Designer, who says, "That was a very fun episode and definitely worth the wait. No longer having to deal with ghasts must be a blast." Got a tongue twister for me in that one. Thanks. Yeah, it is just splendid, honestly. Also, I believe you're now double dipping in the comment book. Not many people do that. Oh, it is just such a nice way to end this episode. I know editor didn't really want me to keep it all in one, but dude, oh, you can't deny that it's worth it. Oh, I love that so much. It's so much better than I would have imagined. I might go in and add a little bit of like pale leaves. I don't know. Overall, I'm still not completely finished with filling in the gaps here, but I have been yelled at to stop because of how long this video is. So, thank you so much for watching this episode, and I do hope to see you in the next one, where, who knows? Who knows what's happening next, honestly? I don't know yet. But, again, thank you. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more from me. And, let me know what you think. And how you think that I should continue developing this area. That is all from me, though. So, bye-bye. I hit the fence again.